Hello all, I'm Dinuka and let me conduct the UAT for Explore Sales Code Management System. We have already shared these EFL UAT test cases with you guys, and I hope that everyone was able to go through it and have an understanding of the document. So in this document, first page is a summary of what you're going to do and what the system is, and the revision history and the approvals. Then we have the assumptions on the sheet, and then we have the test cases. So let me go through the assumptions page. So we have 4 general assumptions under different functional areas. So first is under the functional area of upload Excel file. The assumption would be sales code request file should consist of a predefined format. EFL system should support for PO number, DC, CBA and gross rate only. So these are all the parameters that we received from the Excel sheet, and we'll be supporting for the same. And second would be relating to the functional area of price in Excel file. The assumption would be that AR rate and the origin cost will be calculated based on the values given in the price in Excel sheet. This file should consist of a predefined format. So it is understandable that you agree to stick onto a certain file format, and system would be supporting for the same. And the third would be under the relating to the price in Excel sheet. The assumption is that in case of price in Excel needs to be changed, the new file should be provided to the development team who will upload the file through the backend. So this is something that we've agreed upon also. If there's any change in the Excel price in Excel, you need to send it to the development team who will upload the file through the backend. And the last assumption is related to both the upload and price in Excel sheets. The assumption would be that it is assumed that all the data in this sheet are accurate. EFL system does not validate any data in the Excel sheet. So I think it is understandable that we don't do any validations to the Excel files that have been provided. So let me jump into the test cases sheet. So this is the template that we have used. We have test cases ID, test case name, preconditions, input data, expected results, actual results, execution state, severity and comments. So in this sheet I have filled test case ID, test case name, preconditions, input data, expected results and the severity. And in here the test cases would be divided under 3 different test scenarios. First scenario would be create sales code. The second scenario would be search sales code, and the third scenario would be negative test cases. So let me walk you through the test cases under the test case scenario create sales code. First test case would be the system should authenticate users based on the username and password. Precondition would be user should be registered in the application. The input data would be the username and password. The expected results would be user should be authenticated successfully and user should be directed to the home page. So let me jump into the EFL system that we have hosted and perform this test case. So we have provided these credentials to you via an email. Let me use the same credentials here. It's admin and the password. So if I try to log in, it should take me to the home page, and as expected I can see the home page here. So let me actually go and update the sheet. Let me say user directed to the home page. Then the execution state is passed, and let me jump into the second test case. Second test case would be the user should be able to input relevant data through the interface to create a sales code. So these input data would be name, origin, department number, transit, and season, whether it is peak or non-peak. The expected results would be the system should allow user to input data given in the input data column. Relevant values should be selectable from the interface. So let me go into the sheet again, the website again. Let me put UAT sales code, choose an origin, let me choose Hong Kong. Department number, you can put any. I'll keep both rates as it is, and then peak or non-peak, I'll put non-peak. So now I input this data. I can there are places in the interface to input or select this data. So I will say here user input is success. Let me pass this test case also. Then the third test case would be user should be able to upload sales code request Excel file to the system. Preconditions would be the sales code request file format should be as defined and agreed in the requirement elicitation phase, and the input data should be the sales code request file. Expected results should be system should display the file upload progress. So let me again go to the system and upload the file. So here I have uploaded the file and you can see the progress bar here. So this test case, I will say that file uploaded successfully. The execution state, I will make it as passed. And let's jump into the fourth test case. The system should extract data from Excel sheet in order to display under relevant fields and calculate the cost. The precondition should be valid sales code request file should be uploaded, and valid pricing sheet should be used to calculate the cost. The input data would be uploaded sales code request file. The expected results would be system should display following details: PO number, DC code, CBM, gross rate, AR rate, and origin rate. So let me go back to our system. So you can see it's all the details are here. Let me double check. PO number, we have PO number. Destination code we have here. The CBM, cubic meters. Gross rate we've got here. The AR rate based on the selected transit. So I said both rates. So it has both rates for 5 days and the 10 days. Then origin cost. We've got origin cost also. So I will just say here the system is able to extract data from Excel. Successfully. I'll make it as passed. Then let me jump into the next test case, which is calculate AR rate based on the following formula. AR rate should be equal to AR times gross rate plus trucking times gross rate plus fuel time gross rate plus security time gross rate. Precondition should be relevant values should exist in sales code request and pricing sheet, and input data would be the uploaded sales code request. Expected results would be AR rate should be calculated as per the given formula and based on input data from the interface, and also all the output values should be rounded to 2 decimal places. So let me go, and you can see the all the error rates have been calculated and rounded to 2 decimal places. So I will say the calculation is successful. Then let me pass this test case. The sixth one is also same in the nature. It's calculating the origin cost. Calculate the origin cost based on following formula. Origin cost should be equal to origin fee times the gross rate. The precondition should be relevant values should exist in the sales quote request and pricing sheet. Input data should be uploaded sales quote request. Expected results would be origin cost should be calculated as per the given formula and based on input data from the interface. And then all the output values should be rounded to 2 decimal places. Let me go to the origin cost. So you can see that cost has been calculated and the output values have been rounded to 2 decimal places. So I'll just say calculation is successful here as well and pass the test case. The seventh test case would be change the origin after the sales quote request has been uploaded. Input data would be change origin. Expected results would be AR rate and origin cost should be recalculated based on the origin selected. So let me go to the application. So this is the origin. We have Hong Kong. Let me put it to Shanghai and you can check whether the values will be changed. See, as you saw, the value change was successful and it got recalculated. So let me put here recalculation is successful. Recalculation is successful based on origin change. I will pass the test case here as well. Then the eighth test case would be change the transit rate after the sale cost request has been uploaded. Input data would be change transit. Expected results would be AR rate and origin cost to be calculated based on the origin selected. Based on the transit selected, let me change it here. Display the relevant transit values only. For example, if origin selection was both rates and user changes it to 5-day transit, only 5-day transit value should be displayed. So let me go back here and change the both rates to 5-day transit. So you can see the 10-day is disappeared from here and only 5 days will be displayed here. So let me go back and say that change of transit is successful. And pass the test case. Then the ninth test case would be upload a different sales request code Excel file replacing the existing file. So input data would be upload a new sales quote request file and expected results would be calculate and display the values based on uploaded Excel file and based on already input data. So let me go again and let me check if I have made the test Excel sheet. Let me upload it here. So you can see that it has been uploaded and all the values changed appropriately. So I'll just come and say here uploading a different different save file is successful. And let me pass this test case. Now let me jump into the 10th test case, which is to save generated sales code in the system. So input data would be, all input data should be valid. Precondition would be that input data would be to just press the save button. Expected results would be sales code successfully saved in the database message. So let me come here and say I want to save this. So you can see this message, sales code successfully saved in the database. I'll say sales code is saved successfully, and let me pass this test case also. Then the next test case will be save and download the generated sales code. So let me go back and put another create another sales code. Give and let me upload this again. It's uploaded, and let me save and download the code. So you can see the code is successfully saved, and this is the downloaded. You can see that it is the same name that I input. So the sales code has been created. And yeah, so this is the new sales code that we generated. This is UAT sales code 1, and these are the details. So let me go back to the test case document and say that downloading sales code is successful. And pass this test case. Then the next test case would be to verify data in the downloaded sales code Excel sheet. So input data would be downloaded code, which I have already done. So the title of the downloaded sales code should be name plus the sales code report. So you can see it's the name plus sales code report. Following data should be displayed in the Excel sheet. Created user, created date. You can see created user and created date here. Then purchase order, destination, cubic meters, gross weight, ARAs based on the selected transit, origin cost, and then the total AR rates and origin cost. So when you come here, you can see all the details, AR rates and the total and the origin cost. So let me go back to this case and say all data in the downloaded file is as expected, and let me pass this test case. So let me jump into the second test scenario, which is to verify system is able to prompt suggestions based on the code name that the user types, i.e. For example, type as your search feature that you have today, and precondition would be sales code should exist that matches the user input. Input data would be the sales code name. Expected results would be system displays up to 10 sales code names that matches with the sales code name that user types. Let me go back to the page and go to search code. Let me try to, so you can see it gives this suggestion. So it is what we expected for user friendliness of the application. And let me say that system prompts suggestions based on existing sales codes. Let me go and pass this test case. Then the 14th test case would be, by pressing enter or search button, system should list all available sales code that matches to what user has entered. And the precondition would be sales code should exist that matches the user input. Input data would be the sales code name, and expected results would be system should list all the created sales code names that matches user query, and selecting a list of suggestions should populate the data on the sales code details table. Let me go back to the system, and if I, without selecting this, if I press on this button, it gives me all the suggestions that can be there. So if I select one here, it's going to give me all the results. So this is how it will look like. So let me go and say that system displays all the available sales codes based on user query. Then I would say I would pass this test case also. Then let me jump into the next test case, which is to display the code details of the user search sales code, and precondition would be sales code should exist that matches the user input, and input data would be sales code name. So these are all the details that we need to see. You already saw that it populates all the required data here. So I will say system displays all the relevant data, and I will pass this test case also. So let me jump into 16th test case, which is to download the search sales code. So, preconditions would be all input data should be valid. Input data would be press download code as a file button. Expected results would be download the sales code in form of an Excel file. So let me go and say download code as a file. So you can see it got downloaded here. Let me just open it to verify the data. So it should be like this, and you can see the sales code name, created user, date, PO, DC, CBM, gross rate, AR rate, origin cost as expected. So let me say that system downloads sales code. Successfully, and let me pass this test case. So let me jump into the next test case. These are under the negative test case scenarios. First would be login with wrong username and password. The precondition should be input data should not match database records. Input data would be the username and password. Expected results would be the user should be restricted from accessing the home page and display username or password is invalid message. Let me go back. Let me just log out and let me put a bogus username which is not registered. So you can see username or password is invalid. Best check your credentials and try again. So I'll say system rejects invalid username and password. Now say that this test case is also passed. Then save code with the empty fields. Input data should be null, no origin selected, and expected results would be to display some fields are empty. Sales code creation failed. Let's see how it works. So let me log in with correct credentials, and here I will keep these empty as it is, and I will try to save the sales code. It says some fields are empty, sales code creation failed. So I will say that system does not allow user to save the sales code without entering mandatory data. So let me also pass this as well, and then upload a sales code request file in a different file format. So let me also then the input data would be sales code request with some arbitrary fields. Expected results would be upload file failure, highlight the upload data in red. So let me go back to system and put a name, UAT, select an origin, both rates, and let me try to upload the pricing Excel sheet that you guys provided to us. And when I try, it will show the progress bar, and it will highlight this in red, which shows that it is an invalid file. Then let me say that this also has got passed. So let me jump into the last test case. It is to input sales code name that has not been created earlier when searching for a sales code. So this is when searching sales code. So input data would be sales code name, and expected results would be display no sales code found from given query message. Let me go back and search. And put some bogus data, and it will show that no sales code from the given query message. So this let me come here and say that system displays an error message from user query, and pass this test case as well. So you can see we conduct all the test cases that we have defined, and we've got all past test cases here. So with this I will change the version to v1.0, and the date would be 27. Let's say sheet updated with the test UAT test results. So as you can see, we've got all 100% of our test cases passed here, and we would like to conclude this demo. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.